This is this is Between Two Ferns with Ben George and Brett Dolan.
Have you seen that? Those are so good, man.
Yeah, man, I love it, dude. I spent like an hour Saturday just watching those. I was like, man, I should probably be outside.
My wife hates those.
Really?
She thinks he's too mean.
He is pretty mean. He has
I
some
mean, they're
good.
in on the joke, so I think it's alright.
Yeah, I mean, there's. I like the one. Have you seen the Barack
Close my
Obama one?
phone here. Yeah, that's the best one. That's really good.
Because like
The Hillary
Obama, just
one.
like smooth and confident and just right.
Yeah.
Hey, so now that we're on this interview, how are you, man? How's your Monday?
Good. I got through it, I guess. I'm tired. Did you know I'll hit you with this. Did you know I drink coffee now?
I didn't know this. When did this start?
I don't do it every day though. I try to minimize my coffee drinking,
Yeah.
but I'm 100% on board with coffee. It's so good. I used to hate it. I don't know why. And you know what I started doing? I started I do oat milk, so I started adding some oat milk and sugar to it. It's like a
Ooh.
whole bunch. So it'd be like 1% coffee and like 100% oat milk and sugar. And I changed the dilution of it, and that's how I acquired the taste for it. It's so good though. I love it.
So what time of the day are you having it?
Morning, because that's when my wife makes it. But I would prefer it in the afternoon. But at first I was just taking a little bit extra that she would whatever she would make, there would be like a half cup left or whatever that
Yeah.
she wouldn't drink, and I would just take that.
Yeah.
But now on like a weekend or something, a Saturday, we'll wake up and she'll make 2 cups instead of 1 now.
Cool, man. Have you guys been to any like fancy coffee places in Rochester yet?
I've never had coffee out though. Still haven't had coffee out. So I'm pretty new to coffee. This is a very very captivating interview so far, by the way.
This is like the last month. No, man, dude, I have been a coffee fiend for more than a decade, and it is a love-hate relationship. You know what I mean? I try not to have caffeine afternoon ever because I feel like it messes up my sleep. Well, it
Yeah.
does. Dude, wait, so you haven't had like Dunkin' Donuts coffee yet?
No, I think what my wife has is like the Dunkin' like ground stuff, but I've never actually had it from, like you can get the bags, and
Yeah.
like her brand she likes the Dunkin' brand or just the Wegmans generic brand or whatever. But no, I haven't had coffee out yet, so that'll be my next experience.
I mean, look, man. Everybody obviously talks up Starbucks, right? And this is a family-friendly podcast, so we'll only say positive things about all things. Starbucks is great. I like Starbucks, but I'm a big fan of Tim Hortons and Dunkin' Donuts, man.
All right,
I'm
I'll
not-
give those a try.
I mean, they're good.
I like the home brews, man. They've been good to me so far, but I'll branch out.
Well, I mean, Corinne is probably also awesome at making good coffee, right?
Oh yeah, well she does it every day, and she's been doing it every day. She just got like her single little tiny little like coffee mate guy,
Yeah,
her
That's funny.
coffee, Mr. Coffee,
that's
whatever
funny.
its brand name it's called.
Yeah, that's cool. Dude, so how was your Monday? Like, what is the average Monday like for you? Is it absolute chaos, or was it relatively smooth?
Relatively smooth, I guess. I guess I just kind of get through. Like I got a list of tasks, and then it's like 30 a day, and then I get through like 20 of them each day. So the next day I'll have 30 new ones plus the 10 I didn't get to the day before. And that's pretty much my day. And then there's no like beyond, and then there's no like doing anything new, It's like, oh man, I should get these social medias act together.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Oh, I should we should put out some help wanted stuff online. Maybe I should get that ball rolling. I don't do that. I'm just trying to like basically each day I feel like I get thrown into like the middle of the ocean, and then I just tread water for the whole day. And then at the end of the day, somebody just comes and like picks me out of there and like drops me back on land, and they're like, all right, you got like 15 hours to breathe. Take eight of those to sleep, and sometimes to eat and spend with your wife and dog, and then we're gonna drop you in the ocean again.
Dude,
And it just does that every day.
I mean, okay. Well, then the question is, would you rather be? I mean, you'd rather be doing it for yourself though than for someone else, right?
Right,
Like,
right. I'm treading water for myself and somebody else, so that's good.
was that an inhaler or water?
Oh, that was a water bottle.
No, I was like, dude,
I was like, I shouldn't be recording this, but I don't know why I felt self-conscious about taking a sip of water.
no. I take my water off screen also.
I'm a weird guy, man. I'm sorry.
Dude. Okay, so again, you and I are both kind of weird though. Think of our freshman year dorm. I believe we had a stack of Kashi boxes. Right? Didn't we have this? Am I wrong,
Yeah.
or
Probably something like that.
we just like kept like empty Kashi boxes?
To show off how much cereal we pounded.
Oh,
You know how most college students, they'll keep like their empty beer bottles. We just kept our empty cereal boxes lined up everywhere.
like, hey, what are you guys doing on Thursdays? Oh yeah, we're going to bed at like 10. And
Oh man, that was the life though. Oh man,
you liked it.
kind
It was
of.
nice.
I like going to bed and I like sleeping. I'll be honest.
So do I.
After a while, like going out and like partying and all that stuff all the time, and then you still gotta wake up at regular hours to actually go to college, go to classes, and
Yeah.
then we got to go to practice and
Yeah.
have a regular life, and it was like, oh man, couldn't keep up with it all.
It was kind of an amazing time, right? Like the one thing I kind of miss sometimes is that structure, which was good. The thing I really missed most about like that era when you and I were competitive runners is 3:30 every day. We're just hanging out with all of our best friends. That was amazing.
Yeah,
Like to me,
yeah,
that
my favorite
was
time
one
of
of the.
day.
What's that?
So that was my favorite time of day for sure. I
It was-
remember talking to you about that last time,
Yeah,
10 years ago, or 15 years ago when we were in college.
it was amazing, right?
Well, it's good. Well, I mean, classes can get stressful, man. I mean, it
Yeah.
depends on, the college I was at was probably above my intelligence level.
No.
I'm sure if you're like a real smart guy and you go to a dumb college, you just kind of breeze through or depending on what your major is, you just breeze through all your classes. But
Yeah.
I was like stressed every day from that. And then, you just have other life stresses. So it was nice to like have that block for like an hour or two where you're just like, all right, well, I don't have to do any of that right now. I was like, this is my practice time. This is my run time, and
Yeah.
you just kind of like free yourself for a bit.
Do you think running 70 plus miles a week made the college experience more relaxing or less relaxing? That's obviously basically a part-time job, right? But do you think it made it harder or easier?
I don't know. It's hard to imagine like college without it. I feel like there's a lot of dead time like in college if you're not doing, because I would have done it differently I probably, because I think we overdid it.
Yeah.
We'd run, then we'd work, then we'd go to like the weights, then we would stretch, and then we'd or like before the weights we'd do like striders and all those type of things. And I think like some of those are fine, but like I think we did like two, like I always have said this ever since I stopped running, but it was like we should have taken the easy days easier.
Yeah.
And just did like a short run, or even go in the pool once a week,
Yeah.
and just get rid of that impact, get rid of the impact, of running, and just do like, don't get your heart rate like crazy. You don't need to do that every single day where you're in like the 160s or like super high. It could have taken the easy days a little bit easier, because I feel like I was training. They have like these zone. We were probably training like zone 3 or zone 4 almost every day.
All the time.
And it was like, all right, we got to take a little bit easier. Should have done a little bit easier and then not spend so much time of practice. I feel like I spent way too much time of practice. I'd run. I'd be there from like 3:30 to 7:30, like routinely, or 6:30. And then the other thing is there's meetings, and you're always like 3:30 is like when people get there. So you're like, and then you're supposed to like change a little bit before that. I don't know. So it always took up way more time than it should have, for me at least.
So that's what you would, I mean, yeah, you would have taken those days where it was like, okay, today is 7 miles at 7-minute pace. And then weight room, which is like a rest day, right? Yeah. That was like a rest day. It's like, it's not a rest day, right?
Yeah, well, we would do like 10 miles at like 7-minute pace or faster, like on the quote unquote rest day, right? But yeah, the 7 would have been perfect. The 7 at like maybe 8-minute mile pace, right? Or something slower. Yeah. And then do like a light stretch, and then just shower and get out of there. Yeah. Instead of like meeting, lift weight. You don't need to lift weights on your off day or your rest day. I mean, that's the opposite. But I don't know.
What was your peak mileage?
Over 100, but that was like summertime. So, and I only went over 100 like a few times. Like that was like the peak of summer. Yeah. Like when I was probably going to my senior year, I didn't do that much early on, not even close. But like towards the end, it must have been going probably into senior year, but I was running mostly 80s and 90s most of that summer, and then peaked 100 a few weeks, and then I would do like probably like a couple weeks like higher, and then I'd do like 1 week where I did do lower. And again, this was all, I mean, none of it was like speed work or anything, right? So they were all pretty much just runs.
Base.
I mean, some would be a little bit, base. Yeah, I guess that's what they say. Some of it would be faster than others, right? And maybe you do like a fartlek or tempo type run once in a while, but most of it was just mileage. So I could do a little bit more and be fine with that. But when we were in season, that went down for sure, because then you're doing, you're doing stuff on the track, or you're doing other types of speed work and things like that just like drain you. So it's hard to sustain like high mileage and that, at least for me. But I mean, I was a very average Division III runner, so. I think this experience is probably different for most people, right? I mean, there were plenty of people a lot slower than me, and maybe less like had not as good genetics as me, and then there were people that had way better genetics and were doing different things. So everybody's different. But that was where I was at. That was a good. I felt like by the time I was a senior, that was a good. Like I could do like even in the 70s and 80s. Yeah. With like the speed work and stuff in season, but maybe that would be a little too high. Like I just said, like maybe it would have been better just hopping in the pool one day or something like that. But
it's not like. What do you miss it? Do you miss that feeling of being able to fly?
I'm so slow right now.
It's incredible.
It'd take me an hour to run down my driveway, and I'd give up halfway through. Yeah. And I have a small driveway too. So.
It's I mean, look, a positive trait in life is being able to be a workaholic, right? Like you and I both, we know how to work hard. I was a workaholic also in my running days. And I think it's a positive thing, but we have to keep that under control. Do you feel like you do that, you bring that same workaholism to your business, or is it a little more nuanced than that?
No, I mean, I treat it more like a job.
That's good.
I don't go crazy. I do like to do.
Good.
I do like to work on like a weekend or an evening
Yeah.
or something. And I like those times because then I could just do a bunch of stuff, right? And
Yeah.
I kind of get more in the zone, and there's not like someone calling because I do insurance, so there's
Yeah.
not someone calling, saying they got a different car that needs to be replaced or any like customer service work
Right.
that I have to do because
Right.
as a one-man show, like I do all that too. Um, but when I have like time on like a weekend or something like that,
Yeah.
nobody's like calling or an evening or I don't get interrupted and
That's
I can
awesome.
have more like a zone and just like and go back and all
Just
the stuff
chilling.
I didn't get to I can go back and do, and
Nice.
like because I'm so disorganized everywhere. I got like 10 different and there's like notes everywhere, and so I can get organized. I could look at all my like accounting stuff, all the money stuff side of it and all the other sides of the business. So I do like to do that. So that's where I do make up some hours. But otherwise, I work during the day, and when my wife comes home, we'll eat and then we'll hang out the rest of the night. So
That's cool.
she might tell you differently though. She'll be like, no, he goes upstairs like for an hour every once in a while and
It
stuff like
works.
that. But not. Honestly, I don't think I do that very often. I think most of my mostly I'll just do um, you know when she's gone. I work I stay home now just because I can do everything right
Yeah.
from home, and I'll just work the regular work schedule, the regular 9 to 5, as they say. But I do like but I'll always be like, yeah, I'm going to the office this weekend, or I'm going to work like this weekend, just because I like if we don't got anything going on, I just love the Saturday where I can just do like three straight hours of
Nice.
uninterrupted work, or 4 straight hours of uninterrupted work.
No one's calling you, and you can really get organized for the next
Yeah.
week.
But other than that, I'm not a workaholic, man. To be
No.
honest, if I hit the lottery, I wouldn't work anymore, man. I don't need to
That's
work.
good.
I work 'cause I like making money. No, some of it's fun. I mean, it's kind of like running, right?
Yeah.
When we would run, like a lot of it's a bear, but like sometimes if you take out the racing, like a lot of the training it can be a bear.
Yeah.
Um, but then sometimes you're like, kind of enjoy it, even though like it's the work side of it. I don't know.
What?
Sometimes work is enjoyable, right? Other times it's stressful.
Yeah. What did your mom and dad think when you said I'm going to start my own brokerage? Like, what did they say?
I don't know,
Um,
man. I think I think they were pretty supportive, but
yeah.
um, I mean,
I
it's
love your
not like it was
parents.
like a huge thing. I was like, hey, I'm gonna do this. And I had a business partner at the time
Yeah.
that I met when I was doing insurance for like a big agency, and we were just like, hey, we should just make our own. We can do it just as good. We know how to do it. Let's do it. And yeah, I don't know. I told my parents, they're like, okay, good. Yeah, go ahead. I don't think there was much to it or anything like that.
Wa-
Um,
Was it scary for you in the beginning of starting it, or did it seem like, eh, you know, did it seem like a big stretch?
a little bit because not so much. I knew I could do it. Um, I knew I could figure it all out, but I knew that I money would be hard at first
Yeah.
because a lot of it is renewals, which means you gotta have a lot of people, right, before you start getting all those renewals, and then you can start adding. So initially, because I didn't buy a book of business, so I started with
That's hard.
zero customers.
Woo!
And then so
Woo!
starting at zero is tough. So and we didn't want to do any of that. Me and my former business partner,
Yeah.
we didn't want to do any of that. We didn't want to like. You can become like part of these like. So the other part is like getting carriers, insurance companies to be
Yeah.
appointed with.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what you have to do is just like join these like clusters or other type of organizations
Hmm.
where you're a part of them. Um, but then you'll have a whole bunch of carriers right off the bat, but then you're paying them, or they're taking part of your commission, or they're keeping part of your book. And we didn't want anybody in our book. So we were like, no, we'll figure it out. We'll start with one, and one company,
Yeah.
if we can get one, and then show,
Sure.
oh, okay, here's what we've done with X company. So we'll call another company and be like, hey, we've done this much. We just need another type of company that you
Nice.
fit the profile of to help these type of customers, and then we keep doing that until we had enough. And now I feel now it's just me, and I got all these renewals to like follow up on all the time, and
Really?
now I feel like I got too many mouths to feed as far as all the different companies we have.
Really?
Um, yeah, so now every one of them wants new business, right? Sorry if I'm taking this in a different direction. My
Oh, this
mind
is
my
no. I
mind
want to go
wanders
here.
very very quickly.
I want to actually understand this business. So no,
Um,
please.
and so it is kind of like having a bunch of different bosses, even though I even though I a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I'll go into business so I can be my own boss. But now I just have like a bunch of different bosses, and then the customers are your boss too. They always say, but like the carriers, they're always like, oh, you gotta sell like this, this amount of percentage more this year than you did last year, or not percentage more, but you gotta increase your book with them, right? So you gotta keep feeding them new customers every year, because they want, okay, your book is here, let's grow it another 5% with us. It's like, okay, sure, but then every company wants that too that you
Yeah.
work with. So then it gets tough fast, especially where I'm at, which is a horrible position where it's just me, which I loved for the longest time. I love not having
Yeah.
anybody above me for the first time, and I love not having anybody below me that I have to worry about, but
Yeah.
it's just becoming unsustainable to do it
It's
that
it's
way.
a it's a bit much. Do you think that in the next couple of years you'll be bringing on some staff?
Oh, I'd love to, but it just intimidates me so much. I'm probably the worst person to start their own business, man. I'm horrible at it.
Dude,
No, I
I know
think
how
about
hard
it,
you can work.
but then like I
Don't do
said,
that.
I tread water the whole day, and then I don't have time to do that, and just like the thought of all the time it would take to like get someone on and tell them
Yeah.
I how I want things done. I'm like, man, that seems like a lot. So I just keep treading the water every day, man.
Yeah.
But eventually I'm gonna break that. Eventually I'm gonna to keep going with this metaphor. Eventually instead
Please.
of treading water, I'm just gonna start swimming, and then hopefully I find land. All
And
right.
like go for it and hire that person or people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, well, it's hard too because you're saying to yourself, okay, I would have to pay X amount of dollars extra, and despite as much as you know that would pay off, you don't know, right? Like
Oh,
it's
I
not a
know.
guaranteed.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
none of this is a guarantee. People will say stuff like, "Oh yeah, you absolutely do it." It's like, well, it's not guaranteed. I mean, this isn't like magic. This is still the real
Yeah,
world here.
exactly.
It's still a risk.
That's why I'm like the worst. That's why I say I'm the worst entrepreneur, because I'm so scared. I guess that's why a lot of businesses fail, because people are like scared to take those risks. Where you start hiring people and grow your book. Um,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I have a sustainable business right now where
Yeah.
I make a decent amount, enough to get by. So
Well, I mean, just the move of buying out your business partner, was it 2 years ago, right? Now
yeah,
or
about, yeah, sure, yeah.
2 years ago?
I think it was about like 2 years ago where he was like, hey, just so you know, this could be a possibility. I think it was like August of 2020. Um, but I think like the pandemic changed a lot for him.
For him, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I think he took that time to look inside himself, and he was like, what do I want to do here, with my life?
yeah,
And I don't think this was making him the happiest, or I don't think he saw um, the best future for himself long term.
yeah.
So
I mean,
that's fine. I was happy. I'm upset or happy. I mean, I would love to have them still around, but I'm not. I think it's I don't know. There's not it's not like a good or bad thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like I
Right.
was like, oh, good thing that guy's gone now.
Right.
If anything, he was probably annoyed by me, so that's probably why
No.
he got out.
Sure. Dude, you're funny.
But sorry, I took that. What were we going to ask
No,
about
this
my
is good.
business
I
partner?
actually, a question on that. So obviously, you miss having the person to work with, but you're making more, right? So like, there's that like flip. But the crazy thing is, it's like your workload doubled, right? So it's like,
Yeah. That's why I kind of got into this situation because now I have all these customers to like follow up on,
yeah,
um, make sure they're renewing, and it's like, oh my gosh, a bunch of people that I haven't met. But well, the good thing is he helps me still from time to time, even though he does his own thing. He still helps me, and then
that's good.
I can pay him. If he has a buddy that's like, hey, I need insurance, even though he doesn't do that, I have him as like a 1099 type contractor.
Yeah,
He can go through, still sell a policy, and then we can, have our own commission split for it, whatever we set up, and then, so it kind of helps there. And then, yeah, so when he left, I have all these new customers, so I'm just like
yeah,
constantly just trying to make sure I didn't just put all this money because I had to buy his book of business, right?
yeah.
So I didn't want to do that and then just none of his customers renew, right? So because then I've just wasted a bunch of money.
Wasted money.
Yeah, so that's why I've kind of been in this situation where I'm at because it's like, okay, we got to make sure all these people renew for at least a couple years so I can pay off all the or get my return on investment, right? So I can pay off the loans and stuff that I took out, which is
Yeah.
very small. All my business is very small scale. We haven't even hit a full dollar yet. Everything's just like quarters and nickels. No, I'm just kidding. But it's very small. But yeah, so I mean, but I had to take a little bit of loan for that, and then then you got to get. And what I did is I just put a lot of the extra money just towards paying off all those,
Yeah.
because I was like, you know what, it'll just make this easier on my brain
Yeah.
to kind of take in the same amount of money, and
Yeah.
then the extra money, just put towards those loans,
Awesome.
and that way I pay less interest, over time,
Beautiful.
and just get rid of those. So, and
Beautiful.
now I'm at a point where hopefully I'm making some decent money. But yeah, and then it's back to building the business again, bringing in more new customers,
Nice.
and then making sure those customers are happy.
It's exciting. I mean, do you have any like vision of where you want it to be in 5 or 10 years, or it'll be like continually just like improve it? Is that the vision? How do you think of that business, the future of it?
Um, yeah, I mean, just continually improve. That's a dumb answer, but no,
No.
I wanna get it into a full operating agency. Not that it's not with one person,
Yeah.
but I just mean like where you have different people doing different things. Where you have the producers that are going out and getting new business um, and adding new customers to the agency, and then you have customer service reps, handling all of the customer service type stuff. Where when people, like I said, if someone needs a car changed or whatever,
Yeah.
or they move, and then, ideally, I'd like, even a person um, just to work on renewals and
Nice.
stuff like that, just to make sure our customers are happy and everything. And
Cool.
if they're not, we make sure we shop them around again to make sure we get them with a company that they like, and that their price is where they like and everything like that, and that all their needs are insured properly, and um, you know, marketing people would be great. Let's
Yeah.
just keep building this. Let's keep getting more people.
It's exciting. It's exciting,
But
man.
I mean, it helped to at least start with one. But
Well, it sounds also like you're in the process of like getting debt free with the business too, right? So that'll be big.
Yeah, I think the best way that I can do this, which so maybe I'm a little bit silly compared to other business owners, but I wanna just like uh, have kind of this. I need a big like stockpile of money of reserves before I hire someone. I want to be
Good.
like, all right, I could hire this person
Yeah.
for a year and not make a cent more and still be okay, right?
Awesome.
Um, Otherwise, I might be too scared to do it, man.
The beautiful thing about that is that's a sustainable way to do it. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, the I think the thing for me is I have a good situation right now. I mean, I complain about it, but it like money wise, like it's like okay, I can keep doing this and it's gonna be okay, right?
Yeah.
Like so, but I would like to improve. I would like to have the business bigger. So it is a risk, and I'm gonna take it, but just not right now, Ben. Not right now. Maybe
That's good.
tomorrow though. We don't know.
I love that. I love that. Do you think that at some point, 30 years from now, this is something that you would want to give to family, children, whatever, or is that not as important of a thing? You know?
No, I'd rather sell it.
Yeah.
I'd rather sell it. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's always going to be insurance, but like, who knows? We can be in dystopia in 30 years from now,
Living on
or
Mars.
maybe all cars are just self-driving, So like
Oh
automobile
yeah.
insurance is like would be totally different, right? Um,
Fair.
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, no. What I mean, either way, I mean, I want to sell it, or maybe there are no agents. Maybe it's all maybe everything's automated 30 years from
Huh.
now. We don't know. So I would like to sell it, or maybe not 30 years from now, but maybe that's the way. But maybe in 30 years from now, maybe that's the way it's going, right? So it's like,
Right.
I better get out now. But the other thing is, no, but that's kind of like my retirement, right? So
Yeah.
is eventually
Fair.
I want to just sell my book of business, and it's a pretty easy thing too, um, because a lot of people want to buy your book of business, right?
Yeah.
Because then they got more money coming in. And to be honest, that's what I would like to do too. If I can get a couple people hired,
Nice.
that might be a route I go to. Is try to take out another loan and buy a small book of business.
Nice.
Somebody else trying to get out or something. Um, Especially while I'm still in my 30s, and I
Yeah.
have another 30 years to work. If I,
Huge.
3, 4 years from now, if I buy a book of business, I'll be, at 38, 39, or if I can still do it under 40, I could have 20 years, right, with that book. So
That's cool.
that could be an option too. I don't know.
That's cool. That's kind of neat. That's
Yeah.
exciting. I mean, like you said though, man, you're in you also seem like you're in just a good spot. Like you're relatively content. You may be working your tail off, but like you and Corinne have a pretty good thing going, it sounds like.
Yeah. I don't know. It's working for us. You're a typical middle class family, man.
Um, when was the last time that you had a packet of Mad Libs in your hand? Was that a high school on a bus to New York City? Or was
Yeah.
this,
Yeah, probably, high school. Yeah, Mad Libs and joke books, 99 Halloween jokes, 99 this joke and that joke. Had a bunch of those.
um, I used to love those, man. Hey, so serious question though. You were a math major in college, and did you have any idea at all you'd end up in this spot, owning a business? Like, you were a math major, right? So, like, where did you think you were going to go?
I don't know for a while. I think I kind of got into math because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I could be a math teacher. Coach cross country afterwards after school's out.
Yeah.
Um, Mostly because I looked around and half our team was doing that. They were all going to be teachers, like secondary teachers, or some of
Will.
them were like younger teachers,
Yeah.
but everyone was going to be a teacher, and then also like coach cross country for the whatever high school they went to.
Yeah.
And so then after like a year and a half of not being sure, I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do that. And then Genesee was a big teaching college, so I was like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that's what I'll do too. And then it wasn't for me, and then the math was way too difficult for my brain to handle. So then
Yeah.
but then I was like stuck. So I was like, oh man, I better just. I was like, I couldn't change at that point. I was like I was in too deep already. So I was like, I can't change again. But yeah, no, I was undeclared at one point, but I was a business major at one point because going into it, you were
Oh
like, oh,
yeah.
I'm going to be a business major. So I was like, all right,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
business major. I was like, I'll do that, or business administration, or whatever they call it. I just call it business. I was like, yeah, I'll do that. But like, I
Yeah.
didn't know what I was doing, man. I didn't know what I was doing until I didn't know what I was doing until I started this business, really.
It's amazing. Wild.
I had so many, even after, so I went to, when I was in Boston,
Yeah.
and that's when I started in insurance. Um, when I came back to Rochester, I had two other jobs before I started this, neither of them in insurance.
Huh.
I don't know what I was doing, man. I was just floating through life, just trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure it out though. Who knows, Ben? I mean, I said I want to buy a book of business, maybe again before I'm 40. I could possibly sell this book of business before I turn 40 and figure out something else. So I don't know.
I mean, that'd be interesting. Both would be fine scenarios, right? It's
Oh yeah,
like
get a bunch of money and a new job. That'd be great, man.
you'd be set. You'd be set. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Again, like I obviously it's a hard thing, but like worth the journey, right? Like would you recommend being an entrepreneur to anybody, or do you think that it's not for everybody?
Um, yeah, it's probably not for everybody, right? It's barely for me, but no, I mean, I definitely highly recommend it if you want to do that because, like I said, I can sell my book of business right now, right? So I
Yeah.
have an asset, right? It's kind of like the difference between like renting and owning a home,
Yeah.
right? Like now you have an asset you can eventually sell. So that's the benefit of it.
Yeah.
Is you're not just working for somebody else and then they can fire you or you quit or you get burned out or something and then you're back to square one. But um, at the same time, like if I might go back to having a regular job.
Yeah.
They give you paid vacation time, paid time off. I have to go through my wife's health insurance right now.
Oh yeah.
So we'd have to, if she lost her job, we'd have to go through the marketplace. Who knows how much that's going to be?
Yeah.
Even with Obamacare, like it's still going to be expensive. So I mean, I'm pretty lucky that I have my wife.
Yeah.
Especially starting out because like I said, I was making nothing. So she took a lot of the bills, and
Wow.
she still does. So.
Huh.
Yeah, probably won't work for everybody, but if you can find a way to do it, it's great. If you can find a way to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the same. Like it obviously is a challenge, but I think any job can have that level of a challenge. But the beautiful thing about that entrepreneurship is you kind of get what you put into it, right? In many ways, that's the thing I love about it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'm always curious, for me at least, what it would be like to work in a very large company. What it would have been like to be an employee in a large company, and what that dynamic would be like. You worked in a large company in Boston, right? Wasn't that insurance company pretty big?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They had like CEOs and all that. C whatever O or C whatever. Um, and they had a bunch of money. They had just
Yeah.
got like some X million of dollars or something like that. So it was like a typical like startup, but it was like,
Yeah.
but they did like insurance. It was kind of funny,
Huh.
which is like the oldest, like it was just very old school industry. But I'm losing all my natural light, and I apologize about that. Let me see if I can change
It's all right. It's the sunset, kind
Yep.
of. Um,
Um, but
dude.
no, I like working with a lot of people.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
That's the downside is I work with like myself now.
Do you ever bring Charlie the dog into work or no?
No, on the office building that I rent out, it says it's got like a no dog allowed sign on it, which is like I don't know, but because clearly somebody was bringing their dog or something and it was barking and somebody else complained about it or something, so now they got this little sticker on the door. It says no dogs allowed. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't care. I won't bring them. But my office is so like the actual office space I have is just so small.
Yeah.
Like we have shared conference rooms that are bigger, and that's where I'll meet like with customers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I'd have to like shut my door, and there's no windows in my office. I'm in the middle of the office building because I got the cheapest office. Because I'm like, no, yeah, I'll be in here and I work, but if I got to see someone, I can just use the shared conference room. Like they don't need to come into my closet, right? So let
I
me
love your
get the
office.
cheapest one I can get, and then
It's the best office.
yeah. But yeah, so I'd have him like in this tiny little room with no windows all day, and it wouldn't work. So plus he's fine home, but it's great. Well,
Yeah. Yeah. I get you. Um. Hey, so I want to. I've known you since we were maybe like six-ish. I don't know, something like that. Like maybe Cub Scouts. So we grew up in the same neighborhood and through Cub Scouts.
yeah, I want to say we
Seven.
actually met in like second grade, maybe.
Seven. Yeah, I think I have it in my head that like seven, second grade. Also, yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't
And
know how old you are in second grade. Maybe six. Maybe what you said.
seven. I don't know, man.
6 or 7, yeah.
Because what was it through Cub Scouts?
I think who'd you have for second grade? Miss Curry?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in the same second grade class. That's how I met you. I think that's probably why I got into Cub Scouts. Or I missed,
Oh.
or
Well, Lou was in it too,
yeah,
right? Wasn't Lou?
yeah. I think he got into at one point.
So we both got joined, maybe.
But I was like late to the party. Like my dad had to like go over there and knock and be like, "Hey, can we get one more in this pack or troop or whatever?" And they were like, I can't remember the story, but they were like, no, no.
Really?
And then I
No.
think they were like, no, they said no, and then they're like, we're already full. And then I think they were like, uh, I can't remember. I gotta ask my dad the story again, but it's probably like, unless you buy drinks for like the next thing or something. He was like, oh, okay. So I don't know, it's something stupid or something. I was like, unless you can drive, or no, I think they needed him to be part of it or something. They were like, unless you can be like help
A
or
leader?
something like that. Yeah, like unless you can be part of it. I don't know, or like one of the sidekick people or something.
Yeah, wasn't your dad? I seem to remember your dad and Mr. Drew were like the leaders of our little den, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. So my
I
dad ended up becoming the leader. What's it called? Is it just called the leader? Scoutmaster? Is that a thing? I don't know, but yeah, he ended up becoming the. He was a very involved dad, and I'm very grateful for that. So he was like the leader of the troop.
yeah,
I don't know the terms anymore. I'm gonna say troop. I'm gonna say
pack.
leader of the pack. Yeah, I'm gonna say
He
leader of
was,
the
man.
pack.
Dude, I love your
Slash
parents, man.
co-leader. I
Yeah,
think one time he was the leader, but mostly the co-leader. I can't remember, but it went back and forth. He was there.
and your mom was a room. Wasn't she like a not the PTA in
PTA.
elementary school? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I think our moms. I think your and my mom both were like the PTA at the same time of one of our elementary
Heavily
school
involved,
classes.
heavily involved PTA member. My mom, yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm sure Suda George as well, for
I
sure.
mean, they have the same name. They have to both be involved.
Everybody on that PTA was named Sue. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I, I, I don't know if we can ever prove it, but um, it's got to be. I don't know if we can prove it false either. Let's go
Yeah.
with that. But yeah, I think that's why our Mr. Turner remembered us so well. You know, it's like, oh yeah, you had your mom's run the PTA, of course.
Oh yeah, man. It's kind of neat. We're lucky. I think you and I both were very lucky to have just that stability, right? We were living in the same area our whole childhood. I mean, you moved into your house. When was that? Like mid? Was that around the same time that you and I met?
Yeah, that was like third grade. So
Okay.
I'm trying to find more lights in here, but that's about it. So I'm sorry it's so dark on my
No.
screen here, but yeah, third grade I think is when we moved. But I was right down the road though. We didn't move far. So
Yeah, I
you know
know.
where you are, like south. You know
Yeah,
that neighborhood right next to our middle
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
school.
Yeah.
We just moved from Yosemite up to
Right.
Covered Wagon, so
The,
not too far.
the new circle.
Yep.
The new circle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I've met so many people that in my travels that had childhood or teenage years, whatever, moving around so much, and like that is probably a great experience for many people, right? They get to see a lot, but I've always felt really fortunate that you and I had that level of stability. We were basically just in the same place our whole lives. Our parents were just doing their thing. They were at scouts. They were at our track and cross country meets. It was kind of like a nice. We went to college 30 minutes away. It was kind of nice. I really like that in retrospect. I mean, I guess you and I didn't know anything differently, but I think it was, in my view, somewhat ideal. Would you? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean we had the nice packaged middle class suburban life, man. We were nice
Perfect.
and coddled. That's why we're big pussies now, man.
No,
Coddled. I'm just kidding.
dude. I've seen you. I've
No, it
seen
was.
you. I have seen you work your tail off, and I have seen you in races push yourself to a level that not many people know what it's like, man. Like that, I've seen you battle. You know, I've seen you like charge up hills on runs when we've already run like 10 miles. Um, we're But anyway, dude, I really liked your neighborhood, your side of the neighborhood growing up. So I always liked the woods that were behind you, and there was that culvert that was underneath your street. It was like across the green belt from you. So I remember at a lot of different points going in that culvert for no reason, and it was very smelly and like mucky. I don't know why I went in there all the time, dude. Like, did you ever go in there?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the older you get, the worse it got because now you're this big lumbering kid in this going through these tiny little pipes. Yeah, I don't know why we're going because you're a kid and you want to go through sewers and stuff, man. It's fun, I guess. But yeah, it was pretty gross and like I feel like every time I went through it, I just regret it.
I
And then
can
my mom would be like, "Why would you go in there? There's so much disgusting crap in there."
I can still smell the smell of that culvert,
Oh yeah.
and like I know that smell. Like that creek. I hope that thing's still there, and I hope the generations of kids living in your neighborhood now are just like hanging out in there right now.
Maybe.
And your parents are still in the same place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm there pretty often. You know, we go there. I mean, I'm only 20 something minutes from them, or not even 20 minutes from them. So
that's awesome.
yeah, we'll head over there, hang out with them. We'll go around the circle. It's such a nice area.
Yeah, I love that neighborhood. Is your Did you say where's your older bro living again now? Is he in Nashville?
He just moved back to the Rochester area.
Oh yeah, all three of you guys are here.
Yeah, he's living in Henrietta, New York, man.
That feels good. That's exciting. That's
Yeah.
kind of nice. Your mom must love it.
Oh, she was very, very excited. Very excited to have him back. So,
How often are you guys having like family meals?
we try to probably a couple times a month at
Yeah,
least. Yeah. Like I want to say like every other Saturday or every third, every other weekend maybe we try to get together.
cool,
Maybe it goes 3 weeks here and there, but
nice. I like that. I'm seeing my dad this weekend, so I'm in Florida now, but then I meet him in Omaha this weekend, of all
what's
places.
your dad doing in Omaha?
We're going to the
What are you
Berkshire.
doing in Omaha?
We're going to the Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting.
Oh my
I'm a
gosh, of
big, I'm a
course.
big, I'm a big Warren Buffett fan, and so Dad, I
How many
said, hey,
Berkshire Hathaway shares do you own?
I think I purchased one B share so that I could
Gosh, even that's
get the,
expensive, right?
get the
Is
it's,
that
it's,
even like thousands?
it's a couple $100, I think, for a
Oh,
B
okay.
share. I
For a
don't know. I
share.
but yeah. So you can, if you have a B share, you can show up at the Berkshire meeting and get four meeting credentials and go in.
Just for one
And
B share, huh?
I think one B. Yeah, you can do it with one
That's all
B
you
share.
need is one.
You just need to prove custody of one.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
I'm a shareholder.
forty
Literally
thousand.
a shareholder.
Oh yeah. That's all you need, and you can just buy it. Like a week before, and just show up with your printout and say, "Hey, can you let me in?" But they 40,000 people went there the last time that it was in person. I think it might have been pre-COVID. Maybe I'm wrong. I went like 6 or 7 years ago. It
Oh
was, it was
really?
yeah, it was amazing. But Warren is maybe 93. His business partner Charlie's 99, 98,
Oh
and
my
they get up there for like
gosh.
6 hours and just talk business and economics and their philosophy of the world. They are philosophers through and through.
Oh yeah.
But it'll be neat. I'll get to go with Dad, so that'll be fun. It's kind of almost a random dad and son trip, but I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be
That's
good
really
to
cool.
good to have that experience with him. And we're staying at a casino.
Awesome. That sounds like a great weekend, man.
It'll be
Or
fun.
week or whatever.
It'll be fun. And then I'm back to Rochester in like early June for most of the summer. So I'll be kind of bouncing around different places. But you and I will get to do some awesome hiking.
All right, I'm in. I'm trying to get back in shape, so it'd be
I mean,
perfect.
hey, if you want to do an Adirondacks thing, we could do that.
I'm in for sure. Give me a little bit extra time.
I mean, that time that we went in like what September a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Was that 3 years ago?
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty cool. It was 20. No, it was 2020. It was 2 years ago. Or wait.
All right.
Yeah, it was three. It was good. Yeah, this September will be 3 years, I
Yeah.
think now.
Wow.
Whoops.
Well, one thing I do in my travels is I constantly am talking up upstate New York. So I tell people all the time, upstate New York is the best place in the world. The best place from May until the end of October. And I try to make it sound as magical as possible. There are mountains and lakes and hiking trails and sandy beaches and and it's relatively inexpensive up there because it really is a good place, man. Like I'm a big fan. I always will be, no matter where I'm living.
We still get taxed a ton though, man. But outside of that, yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
Um,
true. We do get the high New York State tax. That's that's
uh,
that's huge.
but yeah, it's a nice place. But the problem is everything. It's so much bigger than people think. Like people still like from outside. Uh, I talked to somebody today who was like a salesperson selling me something,
Yeah,
and he was doing like a demo for me of some product that they have,
cool.
and he's from like South Carolina, and he's like, oh yeah, you're from New York, and it's like, yeah, I got a cousin, some kind of relative or something in Manhattan,
Yeah,
and he'd tell me like the obscure neighborhood that you would know if you're in New York City, but and I'm like, I'm a 6 hour drive from New York City. Like Philadelphia is like a 2 hour train from New York City.
Yeah,
right? Like that's the bottom of Pennsylvania. Philly is so much closer to New York than New York City. So
true.
I mean, you could be. I think DC is probably closer to
Yes,
New York City
yes.
than where I am. So it's like you could travel through like multiple states and still be closer. Um, so it's kind of funny. And then
It is
to get
weird.
to the Adirondacks, it's like 5 hours from here. So it's just
Yeah,
like, man, it's a much bigger state than people realize, like area wise.
it's a, it's a it's a massive state, and it's almost surprising that more people don't understand that dynamic. But I guess people just assume New York is New York City, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there another part of the state you would move to if you were forced to move out of Rochester? Like,
Sure.
where would you relocate to?
Yeah,
Could have even been home.
closer to the Adirondacks would be great, man.
Yeah,
And like going out towards like that Saratoga, and or even all the way to Albany.
yeah,
Um, that's where my partner's from. He's like almost down in the Catskill region,
yeah,
east south of Albany, um, or Hudson Valley, I guess is where he is. But
yeah,
yeah, all that area would be nice too. I mean, it's still because it's still pretty similar. Um, geographically and
yeah,
weather-wise, like everything's pretty much the same over there,
yeah,
except you're a lot closer to the big mountains, which would be cool. Because I can't get out there enough. It's such a far drive, and then I don't like being away from home, and I don't like,
yeah,
if my wife and dog don't come, I don't like to be away from them very
yeah,
long either. So, um, and if you're traveling 5 hours, you got to be out there for more than a couple hours.
yeah,
So you're at least there over for one night or two at the bare minimum.
yeah.
Um, so it'd be cool. It'd be nice to be closer there, but I like where I am too. We're close to family right now, so it's better to like just take the time to go to the mountains, every once in a while rather than
Yeah.
having to travel like 3 or 4 hours just to see family. Um,
Yeah.
you know.
Did your family your grandfather did you I can't recall. Do you still have the camp? The property up
Yeah,
there?
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Queensbury?
he put it in. He's still alive, but he put it in a while back. He put it into all of his. Him and my grandmother put it all. They put it all into their kids' names. So it's like 1/3 my dad, 1/3 my aunt, 1/3 my uncles.
Nice.
Now, yeah. And they've been doing stuff. I don't get up there very much, but I should more often. But they still. I'm a vegetarian, but they still hunt every every November.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, once hunting season opens, they all go up there. My dad, his brother, my uncle's two two sons will go up there as
Yeah.
well. They'll try to. Usually, I think they go up there for um, at least a few days.
Sure.
But my dad still goes for the full week, and my grandfather, who's 94 now, I think,
Wow.
still goes up there and hunts
Dude.
every November when it's
Amazing.
cold. They go outside. Well, they'll kind of sit him like they'll put him in like an area, and then they'll
Cool.
try to like move the deer like towards him.
Cool.
I guess. Um,
I love that.
but that's crazy. Yeah, and neither of my brothers go either. Not
Yeah.
that. Well, Kyle was kind of vegetarian for a bit, but Eric was always out of state. But neither of us were.
No.
None of us were the hunting type, vegetarian or not.
I, I didn't really get the hunting gene necessarily either. I mean, I think I shot a squirrel when I was like 15, and that's maybe it. I've never actually hunted.
You were a Boy Scout though. You kind of have that.
Yeah.
It's getting so dark in here. I'm so sorry.
Actually, can I ask you? So, why did you initially become vegetarian? Yeah. Yeah.
Did I lose my sound?
No, this is better.
Hold on, give me one
It's
second.
like better volume. Can you hear me?
I just ruined everything we just did.
This is Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis and Brett Dolan. And,
Okay, hold on. I got you back.
you can hear me?
We're gonna. You can cut this part out. I mean, I don't know.
Nah.
I don't know. You're probably never gonna watch this, but.
No, I want to post it on YouTube. Send it to your
Oh,
mom.
okay. All right, sounds good.
I'm going to send this to your mom and my mother as well.
Okay.
That's our audience. I'm going to send it to, I'll send it to some of our buddies too.
Okay. I guess you can do whatever you want, man. All right. Is this at least slightly better?
Dude, your hair looks awesome. You look like you're like a 1970s marathon runner. Is that's like a weird angle, maybe. This is hard for me to tell.
I love that. I love that. Hold on, let me try one thing here. That's not going to work right now.
Living life of Frank Shorter.
Man, Frank Shorter. Hold on, I'm going to try to get a little stand here.
Yeah.
If you do send this to anybody, and they're still watching, good for them.
They are. In fact, the chance of this going viral.
1,000% for sure. Oh, that's going to block the light.
You and I will split the advertising revenue.
We're going to get so much after.
We'll advertise. I really like gummy worms.
Everybody wants to hear about how fantastic our perfect little suburban childhoods were. That's what everybody. They're like, yeah, I want to.
Like, wait a minute, you guys were throwing rocks at each other and hanging out in a culvert with some pond scum all over the place, trying to find like tadpoles. I feel like Lou Crusty was the king of finding like tadpoles.
Tadpoles and frogs. Yeah, he was a big frog guy, man. He owned a frog.
Yeah, he was. He was the best at that in all of Henrietta. Big frog guy. Big frog guy. That would have been our description of him at age 7, right? Man, he's always getting frogs. Speaking of that, so you don't eat frogs. So I wanted to ask, how long have you been vegetarian and what sparked it?
At least like, oh my gosh, over 5 years, 6 years, maybe 7,
Yeah.
8. But I was like opposite. Like I didn't go super cold turkey like I wanted to.
Yeah.
But then like my wife was like, not a vegetarian at all. So like every once in a while she'd be like, yeah, but early on she'd be like, yeah, I kind of want pepperoni on the pizza, and instead of being like, okay, well we can each get like a medium or split it like we do now,
Yeah.
or get like half or something.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, all right, we'll just get on the whole thing. And then every once in a while, like the first year, I think like every once in a while I would have meat, but like
Yeah.
but no, you start here, you listen to a podcast or see like a YouTube video or something here and there, and then it's just like, man, what are we doing to these creatures that are alive and like have personalities and like are just like they don't want to be killed, right? And
Yeah.
it's just like, man, this is terrible. And like we have all these resources to not eat meat anymore. Like
Right.
even the fake meat now, it looks like Impossible Burger.
Yeah.
Or that's like it even looks and smells and, well, my wife hates the smell. She says the smells different, but it even looks and tastes the same, or practically the same.
Really does.
It's like, man, we can just have this, and we're okay. I don't know. So I don't know what I'm talking about right now.
No. I respect the ethical mindset that you have around it.
Well, yeah, that's what you asked. Why did I do it? So yeah, so that, and then, but I don't know. I like her. I would hear everything, right? I would hear, it's how bad it is for the planet, and how unsustainable it is. And it's like, wow, that freaks me out. You know, and because like so much of our agriculture and farming is going just to feed all these animals, and it's like, man, why are we wasting so much? And I know some of the land that's like, or a lot of it might only be able to be used for certain type of food, which would only be able to be used for to feed, you know, like cattle or chickens or whatever. But you know, we could eventually, you know, change the ecosystem of that land too if we need to. But that's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is, there's a lot of horrible environmental things. There's a lot of horrible human aspect of it. Like the people who work in slaughterhouses are usually like poor people or immigrants or people who don't have other options. You know, and their lives are always, you know, I don't know. You always see like a documentary and it's like, oh man, look, you see what these people have to go through and you're like, oh man, I don't want to put. There's also people who are affected by this. You know, so the people are affected, the planet's affected. Obviously, the animals themselves, you know, that's the most they're affected. So there's so many bad things that go into like the meat industry, and there's only one like good thing, and that's that it tastes good. You know, I don't know. Well, I guess it provides jobs. There's a lot of jobs too, but yeah. So that's another thing. But I don't know. There's not. I don't know. I didn't feel like there was many good reasons, and I don't know. This isn't a good answer, and I apologize.
It's a great answer, man.
But like, I don't know.
It's your answer.
I mean, to be honest, the reason I stay vegetarian is because like I don't want to eat another animal again. like there's a ton of stuff where, you know, like people who do it like for the planet or other reasons.
Yeah. I
don't know how they do it because like, or their health. You know, it's healthier too. That's another reason. But like, I could never stay on it for that type of reason because like, I'll get in kicks where I am eating healthy, but then like, you know, I'll have nothing but like potato chips and candy and soda, you know, for a bit too. So it's like I can never like, because like if it's just about like my health, like I wouldn't care that much. Or if it was just about like the planet, you know, I try to do everything I can, but then sometimes there's like, well, I got to take the car out, you know, I got to fill up my tank with this gas, which you know is a non-renewable resource that we're just burning the crap out of. So it's hard to like, I think, stay vegetarian like for the planet or something like that. But like when I think about like what I'm eating, you know, and that it was probably, you know, an animal that had, you know, its own personality and probably didn't want to live the life in like a factory farm and be poked and prodded and eventually sent to slaughter. You know, I probably wanted none of those things. So I don't know. I don't like when we force anybody or animals into anything. You know, I want everybody to just have, you know, I don't know what I'm saying. Let everything just like live on its own, right?
That's a peaceful. Did you have that same feeling in your early 20s too? Or was it like bubbling around a little bit? Or did it kind of like hit you all at once?
No, I feel like it slowly over time. I remember actually, like when we were in college, it was like I was so far on the opposite side where if we were in like a meeting and we had like a nutritionist or something, like a guest speaker, it's like, all right, we're all runners, and it's like, okay, how are we going to best prepare our bodies? And if somebody ever asked about like, you know, about being vegetarian, I remember, sorry, it's like downpouring here all of a sudden. So the rain is like just hitting real hard.
Wow, I can hear it.
Yeah, you can.
I like rainy nights, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna go enjoy it after this. But yeah, I remember when I think it was usually girls. I think there was like no guy on our team would even like approach vegetarianism at the time, or maybe they were, but like they weren't allowed to. Like it was like very shunned upon, you know.
It's kind of weird.
So like and then like I feel like a girl would ask about it, and it would just be like the guys would just like jump all over her and be like, "Oh, you're not going to be able to survive training this hard." off of, without any meat in your diet. And I feel like we were pretty like negative towards even the idea of being vegetarian. And then I think even after that, in my later 20s, it was more of just like, or my earlier, when I got into like my 20s and like out of college, that's what I should say.
Yeah.
So like post college, still my early 20s, I think it was more of like you'd see a vegetarian be like, oh, that I could never do that. I was like, I love meat too much. That was kind of like my idea. But I think I kind of got more to the idea where it was like, it's like, yeah, I'm never gonna do it, and I like meat too much. But I was like, but I know like they're doing the right thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I was like, yeah, they're a better person than me. I would think that. Like I don't think that I am now. Like for instance, somebody, but I would be like, yeah, no, they're doing the right thing. Like I'm not gonna do that, but I'm glad they are. Like good for them. I was like, yeah, I mean, some people have to be, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, our world would be very unsustainable.
Fair point.
Because there's so many. Like if everybody who was vegetarian became not vegetarian, it'd be like chaos, right?
Yeah.
And same goes the other way around too, right now. But
True.
but like yeah, that was kind of I kind of was like. I kind of like started having that mindset, and I think once I started having that mindset, it was probably an inevitability at some point that I would go vegetarian, and I try to be veganish, but that's very difficult. So I don't ever judge somebody who's not vegetarian or not vegan or something, because I can't like go full vegan. So it's like,
Right.
and like I was not vegetarian for so long. That like it's like, oh yeah, like I ate meat for like 25 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, okay. Like I remember what I was like I used to, like I was just saying, I used to jump all over somebody if they even like approached the idea of being vegetarian. Like that's like, no, you can't do that. Like especially if not if you're trying to run. That was mine. I was like, all right, you're gonna.
Yeah, I wonder what
You're
the
not going
science
very
says
far.
now on runners and vegetarianism.
Oh my gosh! Well, I think like plant-based diet, like you see all these like top runners like having plant-based diets and being vegan, and same with like UFC fighters. There's always like a bunch of them. So it's like a lot of people who are like really like fine-tuning their body to do these plant-based diets, which again, I mean, is great, but like unsustainable for I think most people. Like if you're doing it just for your own self, because a lot of people like soda and candy and stuff.
It's only going to last for as long as that person is a competitive athlete then. For someone that's maybe just doing it for the body. Maybe.
Yeah. Or I think more just like, well, I think some people can do it just for their health.
Yeah.
Right. But I think what I was trying to say was like, what I'm trying to say is like, if somebody is doing it just for their health, and then they have like some candy and like soda and stuff, I think if they're like, well, if I'm having this, why can't I have meat? If I'm doing it just for my health, right? It's like I'm already doing every once in a while I'm having something not good for my health.
Yeah.
So, and then they'll probably be like, well, and I can have like lean meat, and that'll still be okay for my health. There's something like that, So I feel like it's very easy to break that type of mindset. Maybe not for some people. I mean, like I said, some people will be like, they're like, yeah, I don't care about animals. I'm just doing it for my health. I don't know if that's many people, but I'm sure there's somebody out there who's like, yeah, I'm just plant-based for my own health. And they probably stay on it, and good for them. Good for them.
But for most people, it has to be the combo. Yeah, I know one gentleman who he's now 84. He's a business contact of mine, and he had heart health issues. I think he had a heart attack when he was like 60, and then decided to he was overweight, completely reverse it, went vegetarian, maybe vegan. I know for sure vegetarian. And now he's 84, 85. He's playing tennis like 4 days a week.
That's crazy.
He feels awesome. He's like a big advocate for it.
Yeah. I got to eat healthier in general too.
I could do that.
Man, because I don't want to be. I want to man, I would love to play tennis at 85, and I do not want to be like
Oh yeah, baby.
having like health problems and things like that. So I gotta shape my diet back up. We used to be so good when we were running, but
No,
I gotta shape it back up.
we were ridiculous. I say this all the time. I want to be hiking when I'm 90. That's
I like
that's
that.
what I'm saying.
All right,
So
I'm gonna start saying that.
simple. What that means is I got to protect the joints. Got to stay, mentally sharp, right? Don't need to be obsessed over being an athlete like we were when we were competitive athletes. We were obsessed. But like generally being pretty healthy, which I think is doable for a very long time. You and I will be
for
hiking
sure.
together when we're 90. We'll be hiking around.
I
90.
love it. Let's do it.
I would love
So-
it. We'll be walking around men in ponds. It'd be fun.
So you used to be vegan, right?
Yeah.
But you're not. But you eat meat now, right?
And honestly, man, I became vegan because of the health reasons. And then after 3 years of it, something flipped and I then started eating meat again. So I felt great physically when I went on it. So I think your take that if you're just doing it for the health reasons, that's an unsustainable take. I mean that's kind of an unsustainable thing because it was unsustainable for me. So I was doing it for the health reasons, and then eventually I thought, well, okay, it's time to eat meat. I mean, anytime that I hate to say it, like anytime that I think about vegetarianism, I think, man, maybe I should be vegetarian again. Because you are right. The Impossible burgers are so realistic.
Yeah.
They give the Impossible ground beef.
Yeah.
Right?
Beyond they make like good sausage too is really good there. There's a lot of good stuff. So like that for me, it satisfies my meat craving and like even not like those type of things. Even just like the like the black bean burgers and stuff like that are pretty good. You know what's so funny? Before I was ever a vegetarian, I would go out and every once in a while I'd be like, I kind of want this like veggie burger, this black bean burger that they have on the menu because at some places it sounded real good and it would be good. But if I would order it, I did this a couple times. I would always, the first thing I would say to the waitress before I would place my order, so she'd be like, okay, she'd take everyone else's order. She'd be like, okay, well, what do you want? Or he, well, what do you want? And I'd be like, okay, so I'm not a vegetarian, just letting you know this, but I'm going to go with this black bean burger here. I don't know why I always had to like preface, like first announce that I was not vegetarian, like because I didn't want to be like judged or something.
They don't care. You're like,
but I'm a pretty awkward guy when it comes to ordering any food. You can ask my wife. So,
but I'd like one of these anyway, if that's okay with you. I don't have a vegetarian card in my wallet, but that's funny, man. I mean. I get it. Now it really is way more common, even in our time as adults. 14 years or so of you and I being adults, I guess. I don't know if we've been adults for 14 years. It seems like a long time and a short time. Vegetarianism has become way more common. Like I think a lot of our friends.
Oh my God, it's the best time.
Our friends who are vegetarian, tons of them. I'd say like. Almost half of in my friend group are vegetarian.
I got a question for you with that. How many are vegetarian? Not vegan, but vegetarian.
Versus vegan. I definitely think more. I don't know what Will. Do you know? Will's vegetarian? He might be vegan. It seems to be like half and half.
I think he's vegan.
Pat Horn is vegetarian. Joe is vegetarian for the most part. Zach Cope on the West Coast, he's vegan.
Joe Norman?
Yeah, Joe. I think Joe. Oh. Yeah, Joe's pretty much vegetarian.
Oh, okay.
His wife cooks vegetarian, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So I think he's pretty much all vegetarian.
So when he's on his own, that's when he gets the steak or whatever.
I believe when he's on his own, he goes and gets 2 Tom Walls burgers. So I hope that he listened to this, so we can call him out for that. Because every so often, I believe he takes like a random Monday. and he goes and just chows down on like 2 Tom Wall burgers and like a massive milkshake. He's just like, he probably then just passes out at a desk. Right?
Tom Walls got a good veggie burger now. I had.
Does it?
You know, I think I had one like years ago, and I was like, I can't go to Tom Walls. Their veggie burger's no good. I had one recently. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah. Dude,
but-
I've always loved Tom Walls. That's a. Hey, you know who else is Teddy Quinn? He's vegetarian, I think.
He is? Oh my gosh, I didn't know. And here's the other thing. The reason I actually asked that, because I thought it was going to be the other way around.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody's a vegetarian
And everybody's
anymore.
vegan.
Yeah. I feel because like, you know, if you think about it, what I'm doing, it doesn't make sense just because like, you know, the dairy industry is just as bad, you know, and then any cows that are used for dairy, you know, eventually they're going to get slaughtered anyways, so like,
Yeah.
and used for meat. So it's just like,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I like cheese.
Maybe someday I'll get there.
Maybe
But
once
yeah,
they
so
make
I
cheese.
feel like that's why there's like a big like everyone's like vegan. You know, if you're not, you know, or nothing. Like I feel like the vegetarian is
It's rare.
yeah, I feel like it's becoming like a lost breed because like then it's just like, well, why aren't you just vegan? It's like, well, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you.
I might have misspoken around some of our friends. I don't know what like Teddy Quinn is and what all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, maybe they just haven't made synthetic cheese that is as awesome as normal cheese yet.
Oh, they haven't. That's the problem.
That's the thing. That's like the gap that needs to be bridged.
Yeah, a lot of the cheese is so bad.
Yeah.
Or it's all made of like nuts, and my wife is allergic to
Really?
nuts. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I can't. I couldn't bring any of that stuff in the household, anyways.
Fair. No peanut butter.
What? What do you mean?
No peanut butter?
Oh, no. Yeah, so tree
What?
nuts.
You're like, what?
Tree nuts. Yeah. Sorry, I got confused there for a second. So she's allergic to tree nuts. Peanuts are actually a legume, actually. So she's perfectly fine with peanuts, which is nice because I love peanut butter and she loves
Sounds
peanut
like
butter.
fake news to me, bro.
And our no, that's why like people with peanut allergies are like fine with other nuts, and like people with nut allergies are fine with peanuts. Yeah, so if you hear someone with a peanut allergy, ask if they're okay with other nuts. They probably, a lot of the times, they probably will be. Some people can be allergic to both, and if you have someone with a tree nut allergy, ask them how they are with peanuts, and a lot of times they'll be okay. Because actually it's a legume. So
What do you? I know we're probably going to cut it short pretty soon, but what do you bring to work for lunches normally?
I work from home now, man. Whatever's in my fridge. Yeah.
Okay, except for meetings.
Yeah, so like if I do go in,
Yeah.
a lot of like the stuff I do is over the phone, right?
Awesome.
And like the people who weren't good with that stuff, you know, the pandemic whipped them into shape with doing stuff over the phone, you know. So you know, some stuff has to be in person, so I'll go in sometimes. Usually I'll go in, and then my wife has like a one work from home day a week, and so
Yeah.
what I'll do is I'll go in to I'll usually go in that day
Sure.
to work. But if I like have one like full day at work, I'll eat out, man. I'll eat out. Yeah. That's my eat out day. But sometimes I'll bring stuff, you know, and usually it's like if my wife had made a soup, it's the leftover soup or whatever my wife Corinne made. I would just have like the leftover. Bring the leftover. That's easy.
Yeah.
That's why I like when she makes big batches, because she a lot of times and like she made and she caters to me because she loves me and she's really nice. So she'll make she just made like a goulash but used the Impossible meat.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes like if you have like an Impossible burger, she's like, yeah, I can kind of tell the difference. But she was like, when it's in like this goulash, even she's like, I don't know if I can tell the difference at all. And she made a bunch of that, but the problem is when she really likes it too, when it's real good, she takes a lot of it. So then I don't get as much leftovers. I know I sound very selfish, but I like it when when I have a lot and it's like something I like more than her. And she's like, yeah, you can have all the leftovers. And I'm like, yes.
Dude.
That's because the reason I like leftovers is because I can just pop it into the microwave or heat it up on this, or however, you just heat it up real quick and boom, it's already ready. Because I'm a terrible cook. And I like pretty basic things like if there's not leftovers like peanut butter jelly, man, I'll make that all the time, or something like that. It's easy.
I remember eating a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in college.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
Turkey sandwiches.
Well, maybe high school, I think, because we used to always like bring our lunch. Because in high school we were really health conscious.
Yes.
And we would always we're not gonna get the school food, Mexican pizza. What's even in that? Remember Mexican pizza?
Yeah. Oh man, it's a what is it? A hectagon?
Yeah.
How many sides does it have?
I don't know.
You could toss those like a disc.
Yeah.
Like a frisbee disc, man.
I think we're the only place that had them. It might even be a little racist. I'm not even sure. But like,
hold on. I'm gonna Google and see.
A lot. If you ask a lot of people, ask anybody if they had Mexican pizza, and they'll probably slap you. They'll be like, "That's racist." I don't know. Maybe it's not, but like, it's not a lot of places had it, but we did, and we had it so often. Sorry, go on.
Rush Henrietta school lunch menus.
Yes.
I'll tell you what they're serving these days. So they are serving at the senior high.
I bet it's totally different. Things have changed so much. Students have more control now.
They can have all kinds of good stuff. So what is a school lunch? They have Domino's cheese pizza. Do they have Domino's? They do have vegetarian options. They say, let's see, I want the actual menu. I don't know. See, I looked at the menu like 5 years ago, and it had some sort of thing on there that said, like waffle bag. What's a waffle bag?
Yeah.
So that was like
probably
lunch.
totally different.
Dude, it doesn't really have a lunch menu. It just says you can choose one entree of the day. Oh, it doesn't have. Okay, I'm looking for the list of the entrees of the day. This is what's going to go viral. We've lost everybody. Our moms and like Will were watching this up to this point, and now they are totally done. They are done with us.
I would recommend just not sending this to anybody. This is a waste of. I don't know what I'm talking. I'm pretty tired today. So if you ask me the same things tomorrow, all my answers will be different probably. Or a year from now, all my answers will be different.
I mean, our opinions are. That is kind of the funny thing about what we think, or how we describe things, or how we describe what we're going to do with our businesses or whatever, our family,
or the past. Really how we view the past.
Yeah, it all changes day to day. It's so funny. Like, yeah, you could take someone and ask them the same question the next day, and they will describe it in a very different way. Depends on how we feel, right? It's kind of random. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna click on one more link, then we can end this. I guess I really would love to have Mexican pizza one more time. It is pretty racist though. Man, they have amazing. The breakfasts look awesome. Okay, I found a lunch menu at Burger Middle School. Chicken patty on a bun. They used to always have that. Mm-hmm. Sandwiches, pizzas, salads, veggies, milks. Lots of milks. Lots of salad dressings.
I just want to know they don't do like here's what it is for today anymore. They just have a wide variety every day.
You remember that? They used to have, like, on their website or something.
Yeah, it was just like, here's what it is today. Today's Mexican pizza day. Tomorrow is chicken on a pad, chicken patty day.
Mexican pizza, Henrietta, New York.
What are you doing?
And we're done, folks. I don't know. Hey, good to see you.
All right, I'll see you, man.
I'll look forward to hiking with you in like a month or two. It'll be fun.
Right. That sounds good.
That was a fun interview. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
See ya. Have a good night. Say hi to Corinne.
All right.
Oh, hey, we got to stay on this for 1 second because it needs to upload. So I'm going to stop it if you could stay here 1 second.